Let's go back to Salt Lake City and talk to Megan. What's up, Megan?
Hi, Dr. John.
Wow,
Thanks
that's
for
way
taking my
better.
call.
That's fantastic. That's awesome. What's
Okay,
up?
good. So I have recently failed myself, my spouse, my marriage by committing financial infidelity for the third time.
Ooh.
And I feel like I have really just broken my husband into pieces, and I recognize that this is completely my fault, and it's a coping mechanism that I use when I'm in distress, and I just really need to figure out how to best help the situation and get trust again and work towards a better future, because he's been forgiving enough to give me another chance, even though I don't really deserve that, I feel.
Do you believe that? Or is that just like a thing you say?
No, I do. I just have done it too many times, and I know that it's so hurtful. It's like he even expressed to me, it's like being actually cheated on.
Yeah. Yeah. The conversations I've had with folks behind closed doors, it's very, very similar. Just the devastation of it all. How bad is your how bad has it been?
So the first two times was around $15,000, and we paid those off together and got debt free. And then I was doing really well. I was following a budget and doing other things to help manage stress and other things that were going on in my life. We've had a rough couple of years these last 2 years, because several people in my family passed away, including my mom.
Oh, geez, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and so I was doing, in my opinion, really well, and I didn't know that I had some health issues creeping up and had to go off of work for about 12 weeks just because I was in a lot of pain and constant headaches and a lot of problems relating to that, and didn't work. And I didn't know that my credit card attached to my bank was still active, and so I was overdrafting on certain things and just bills, and didn't know that was coming out of the credit card. So that's kind of what started it all. And I didn't want to come clean about that because it's embarrassing. I just wasn't paying attention.
And then it became a free-for-all?
Yeah.
So let me ask you, because even I bet your headaches and autoimmune are stemming from somewhat possibly the same places.
I do know that I had a brain scan, and I have 2 brain tumors.
Oh, you do? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So what kind of tumors are they?
One is a pituitary adenoma, and the other one is a pineocytoma.
Okay.
I'm waiting to get that one evaluated, but the pituitary is benign.
Okay. And what was the other one?
A pineocytoma. It's by the pineal gland.
Yeah. I would have to sit down and look at the architecture of where these things. There's a lot of questions here. One of the questions off the top of my head, like just so with that piece of insight, it may be that you've got just some behavioral regulation challenges because of like a legitimate brain disorder. You've got stuff going on in your mind. You've got tumors in your head, right? And so it might be that you need a healthy dose of grace for yourself and some high restriction, just some big time roadblocks, right? Similar to like when my granddad became 85, like he couldn't drive anymore. And he's not a bad guy, but he was going to run somebody over. So he couldn't drive anymore. So it had nothing to do with character. It had nothing to do with, it's just like, I can't have a debit card anymore. I can't have a credit card. We can't have it. I can't have access to the bank account because I've got tumors on my brain that have some sort of relationship to behavior regulation. That's a thing. That could be it. Another question I'd have for you is not knowing that, I would be willing to bet that somebody at some point, you have a major in your bones problem with authority.
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
Probably my parents being really strict when I was growing up.
Were they insanely strict?
I think most of the problem was being compared to my older sister who has some ADHD and like not behavior learning problems, and being told that I was kind of wasting my potential. And every time I would like mess up, I would get lectured or privileges taken away. Or
so let's back out a little bit. Lectures happen. That's part of life. Privileges getting taken away. That's part of life.
Yeah.
If you can honestly look back at your upbringing and interactions with mom and dad, interactions with brothers and sisters, relationships were contingent on performance. And when you didn't perform, then you can't go on the family whatever, or we're all going to the movie and you got to stay at home, or we're going to do this thing and you have to eat outside, whatever. It becomes this, to be in here, you've got to dance, monkey dance. See what I'm saying? And so that behavior can get transferred to something as simple as a budget. I'm not doing what you say. I'm not. I can do whatever I freaking want to because I'm an adult.
Yeah.
And the way you're describing, like, I'm trying to be good, you're not changing your core identity there. You're trying to white knuckle this thing as tough as you can, and you're going to fail every time. And this is the pot talking to the kettle. It's like, I'm not having candy. I'm not eating junk food. I'm not fill in the blank. Yes, I am. Because I haven't dealt with the core issues. So let's take brain tumors off the table for a second. Holding, that might be part of the problem, okay? Might be a significant part of the problem. What if you were able to see a budget as one of the greatest gifts you could give to yourself? Or let me say it this way. My friend Sal, I've had him on the show several times. He's talks about diet and exercise on his show, on the Mind Pump show. He says you can't hate your body into shape. You can't hate the way you look so bad. And that's why you go to the gym, because then the gym becomes punishment. And you can only punish yourself so long before you end up at the buffet again. You can only punish and hate yourself so long before, I'm just not going to the gym anymore. Because it's a literal beating, like literally, it's a punishment. When I open my eyes and think, I love myself so much, I'm going to go give myself an hour of movement, exercise, doing hard stuff. I give myself an hour. That's how much I love myself. Dude, my gym time goes an hour and 20 minutes, goes an hour. I got to literally leave. My son came down this morning and was like, Dad, we got to go. Because I was giving myself this gift. It wasn't a matter of, I got to go get it done. And I don't always do that, but most of the times it's a gift, right? So it's a matter of changing your perspective from this budget is something that constrains me, doesn't treat me like an adult, tells me I'm stupid, cuts me off from relationship, just like I grew up. Always, it's a comparison thing, because if we had this and the neighbors have that and they have this and the Joneses have that, instead of then, dude, your budget's the greatest gift, because your budget's going to help you build wealth over the long term. It's going to keep you safe in the present. And you see what I'm saying? It's just a total reframe.
Yeah.
And then having sitting down with your husband once a week to talk about where we are financially becomes a gift you give to yourself. Or it becomes a more powerful gift than another pair of shoes or another whatever thing it is that you're buying.
Right. Yeah, that would be nice.
Have you tried that before?
We actually had a budget meeting last night, but we've both kind of been sick, so it wasn't super productive, but we plan to do it going forward.
Can you make those fun?
Sure.
Here's what I mean. I'm thinking of, there's families out there, so I'm about to make this weird. Sorry, guys. Like strip budget or silly budget or joke budget. Is there a way to keep it from becoming another business meeting in the house? But we're going to have a blast. We're going to be silly and we're going to make it fun. And it's a competition. Whoever saves the most gets $1,000 bonus. Like whatever the thing is, can we turn it into something that you and your husband can have a blast doing? That you look forward to it?
Yeah, we can totally do that.
Because here's what I want to do. I want to change the entire ethos around this thing. It's a gift that you are giving yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And with that gift comes high accountability. So I wanted to pretend at this point you are struggling with alcoholism, okay? You're an alcoholic.
Okay.
And it would be foolish of me to tell an alcoholic, just think of a drink as like a gift to yourself. Not as something you're, right? That would be insane.
Yeah.
So I think for a season, it would be wise to disconnect yourself from things.
Okay.
To have your husband change the Amazon Prime account. To change the bank codes. To take your, and I'm going to be honest with you. There was a season I gave my debit card to my wife. I gave myself an allowance. We did it together, but I simply could not stop purchasing things. I grew up with a lot of money insecurity. When I started getting jobs, it was this compulsion I had. And I've got a bad problem with authority. It's tough.
Mm-hmm.
And it's my body goes to, as soon as it feels a boundary, it feels the need to go hit it. For no reason. Like, I just need to see if this thing holds. Hate boundaries, hate them. And it wasn't until my wife said, "You scare me." And that was it. I don't want to scare you anymore. And that means I've got to put this thing down because right now I don't have control over it.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So it's what I'm telling you is both and. You're going to work on your identity. You're going to work on what this does for us. And we're going to work on the trust rebuild, which is I'm taking my ability to buy things away. Here's what this is going to look like in real life, Megan. It's going to be the worst. Every time you feel that sense of rage or entitlement or I'm a grown-up and I want you to write that down.
Okay.
I'm feeling like I'm a child again.
Mm.
And then you can look at this and say, and I'm strengthening new muscles. I'm changing my family tree here. And that tree starts one decision at a time. And it's going to be uncomfortable. Listen to me. It's going to be the worst. You're going to drive up to fill your car up with gas and you are not going to have cash in your wallet. And you're going to have to leave. Or worse, you're going to have to call your husband to come get you. And you are going to be out of your mind. And then the next time you won't forget cash.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
This is the same as if somebody cheated on somebody. I always tell the person who got cheated on, you get to lay the ground rules for trust rebuild. You want to see all the email accounts? Great. You want to see all the text messages every night? Great. You can do a spot check on the phone? Great. Whatever you got to do, and then I'm going to look at the person who did the cheating and say, are you all in?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll ask you, Megan, are you all in?
110%. Yes.
Okay. From today forward, will you ever cheat with money again?
No.
Will you commit with all of your guts to letting go of this problem with authority?
Yes.
Money is just an extension.
Okay.
I want you to, last little homework assignment. You ready?
Yeah.
Tonight, I want you to stop by Home Depot or something on the way home from work, and I want you to buy a cinder block, just one. It'd be like $5 or $6.
Okay.
And when you get home, I want you to take out a piece of duct tape or masking tape and put it on there. And I want you to write a short little note to your mom and dad about things they used to say to you. 1 or 2 things of the way they treated you.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want you to go out in the backyard. I want you to carry it around. I want you to walk around your backyard carrying it, and it's going to get real, real heavy. Think about some of those things that made you so mad when you were a kid. Couldn't wait to get out of there. The thing your mom said at your wedding, the thing your dad did right before you got engaged, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And when you can't carry that brick anymore, I want you to go to the corner of your backyard and just set it down. When you set it down, I want you to tear that piece of tape off, and I want you to look at that thing and say, I'm not picking you up again. I'm done with those old stories. I'm writing new ones.
Wow.
Okay?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And every time, it sounds simple, but every time you start to pick something up, you can think you'll have a moment, kind of like a funeral. You'll be able to point to your backyard and say, nope, I set this one down. My dad doesn't get a vote anymore. My mom doesn't get a vote anymore. Nobody gets a vote anymore except me and my husband moving forward. And your friends are going to tell you, oh my gosh, he took away your debit card. He's the worst. No. I set it down. I gave it up. Because I'm building new muscles now. I'm working on new things. I don't shop online anymore because my marriage is more important than that, than my convenience. My husband does the shopping now because he loves our marriage more than video game time. Whatever y'all got to do to make it work. But let's change. Let's set down that stuff you've been carrying for so long. Stop. Let's just stop carrying it. Let's build something entirely new. Something entirely new.